This is Gwendolyn. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to be doing a sample relationship reading, and I'm going to use Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton as the sample relationship couple. So for Gwen, her birthday is 10/3/1969. That's October 3rd. And Blake's birthday is June 18th, 1976. That's June 18th. So for Gwen, she is a 4 personality. The way I get that is it's 10 plus 3 is 14, 13, which resolves to a 4. And 4s are the builders. So 4s like to see the work of their own hands. They're very stable. They're very structured. 4s are also nurturers. So they are good as parents. It's got sort of that Cancer energy, as 4th house energy. And so 4s are people that like to build things and be able to see the work of their own hands. Blake, on the other hand, is a 6, which I call the loyalist. The way we're getting that is that I'm adding 6 and 18, and then that's 24, which resolves to a 6. And 6 is, the reason that I call 6s my steady Freddies. 6, if you think of the image of beeswax or the beehive, and you think of this 6-sided hexagon, it's very stable also. So 4 and 6 are both inherently stable in themselves. 6 is very interested in their immediate community, their kin, their friends and family, people that they're close to. If you think of the beehive, they're very loyal to their hive. And so when we add 6, one more thing I'll say about 6 is that 6s are very reliable friends and family members. They're very, they're kind of like the rocks that you can always count on them. 6s often are the ones that have other people crying on their shoulders because they're just so stable, reliable, and 6s are very interested in harmony. So when we add 6 and 4 together for Gwen and Blake's personality numbers, they form a 1. So 1 is something that's unique and original. It has leadership qualities, so together they can take on this leadership. Innovation is number for 1. Originality. They're a very original, unique combination. It's sort of like a one-of-a-kind combination. That's all inherent in that 1 personality. So when they come together, they feel like a unit. They feel like one whole. And then another interesting thing is that they have the same life path number, and they're both master numbers. So that's what I like about Gwen and Blake together, is they share the same life path. The way I'm getting that is you add their birth month, day, and year all together. So for Gwen, it's 10/3/1969. That all resolves down to an 11, which is also a 2. I'll talk a little bit more about that. 11 is the higher vibration of the 2. And for Blake, it's June 18th, 1976. So if we add all of that together, it's also an 11 too. And interestingly enough, they're both what I'll say 38 11s. So it first goes to 38, and then 3 plus 8 is 11. 1 plus 1 is 2. And the significance of that is 38 represents a specific card, which they both are, which is Queen of Cups, which is a very loving, sweet, intuitive, emotional card. So they kind of can identify with each other in that way as well. But 11 is a master number. This is something that is common to them in terms of both of their life paths. And 11 is avatar energy. So it means that they both have a direct link to the etheric realm, and they're able to pull information down from that etheric realm down to life here on Earth. It resolves into the 2 energy, and so the basis of their life path is 2, which is all about serving, service. It's about caregiving. There's also nurturing in the 2 number. It's about being supportive. It's about, providing to others, being of service. So the 2 of them share that. And then when they come together, the 11 plus the 11 forms a 22, which is the master builder, which is the higher vibration of Gwen's personality. So when they come together, life path-wise, they are amplifying her personality number. And the Master Builder, the way the Master Builder is different from the basic 4 is that the Master Builder builds things that are on a spiritual level, or that affect and impact tremendous amounts of people, and it has a tremendous impact. So the 22 is the two of them together. So not only do they have this similarity in terms of being 11 master number, each of them, but they form to be the Master Builder 22, which is echoing Gwen's personality number. So it's interesting in the numerology there. Next, I look at the astrology, and astrologically, Gwen is a Libra sun, and Blake is a Gemini sun. So they're both air signs, and they're in what's called a 5-9 relationship to one another. Gwen is here as a Libra, and Blake is here as a Gemini. So when you're in the 5-9 relationship, it's in astrology it's called trine, and what that means is that there's because they share the same element, which is air, it means that there's a natural harmony and affinity between the two of them. It makes communication, thinking, where they're coming from, it makes it all a little bit more harmonious. It's a little bit more intuitive, and they're both in the mental plane, so they can actually exchange ideas fairly easily. And mentally, they're kind of coming from a similar place in terms of being able to share ideas, operating, in the mental realm. In the cards of destiny, Gwen is a 6 of diamonds, and Blake is a Queen of clubs. This is based upon their birth dates. 10/3 for Gwen, that is 6 of diamonds, and for June 18th, it is Queen of clubs. So there's something nice about this too. With their birth cards, there's a number of different aspects that we have with other people based upon our birth dates, and in the cards there's 2 spreads that govern the cards of destiny. It's the spiritual spread and the life spread. The spiritual spread is all about things that are happening kind of on an etheric plane, and then the life spread is all about what's happening down here, life on Earth. So one of the things I like here is that Gwen is Neptune to Blake in the spiritual spread. And what this means is that in everything that surrounds them, in the whole feel of not necessarily the right here and now, but everything sort of what you might think of as the environment for them, is that Blake will view Gwen in a Neptunian way. In other words, in a very idealized, in a very Neptune represents spirituality, mysticism, seeing things through rose-colored glasses often. So there may be a sense in which Blake sees Gwen as his idealized partner, as an idealized version of herself, and he may even see her through rose-colored glasses or put her up on a pedestal, which can be a very nice position for the person in the Neptune position. It means that the other person is always seeing your idealized self. It means that they're always seeing you in a positive light. And even though it may be sort of like a dreamlike version of you, that is how they see you and experience you. Their second dynamic is that Blake is Mars to Gwen in the life spread. This is also very nice because Mars is masculine energy. It's the warrior planet. So in life here on Earth, Blake represents, a manly man to Gwen, and is someone who is able to be her warrior, to be someone who is active, passionate. It can cause a lot of attraction between the two, when we have Mars or Venus energy present. It even presents with Mars, it presents a little fun rivalry or even competition where it really adds and lends itself to flirtation or banter that's friendly and full of attraction and excitement. So those are their top 2 dynamics, which are both very nice. Gwen provides this sort of etheric, spiritual, I will say tinged with perhaps a little illusion or a little rose-colored glasses, I think is the best way to put it for Blake. And then Blake provides this stable, reliable, here on Earth, warrior, masculine energy to Gwen. So I'm really liking this dynamic between the two of them. One thing I'll also say is that I like this relationship for Gwen a lot better than her prior one with Gavin, who is a 5 of Hearts birth card. In that situation, Gavin was Uranus to Gwen in the life spread, and even though that dynamic creates a lot of unconditional love, it creates a sort of best friends energy. In that situation, that person who is Uranus to the other person will often come and go without notice, or it can create a lot of uncertainty in the life of the person for who the other one is Uranus to. So this one with Blake just seems a lot more stable. Gwen seems to be in a much preferable position in the relationship where she's not having to wonder about him coming and going. The benefit of a Uranus relationship is that there's a lot of openness to it. There's a lot of freedom, but there's a lot more, there can be, along with that, a lot of uncertainty, and a requirement of the person who's Uranus to have the other person accept them exactly as they are, coming and going without notice. Whereas in this relationship with Blake, he is all about her, and he also provides this very masculine, passionate, driven, active energy for her. So I like this relationship dynamic a lot better. And then I usually finish up with a tarot reading for the couple in question. So I'm just going to take a look at this. I'm doing kind of a quick one here. Usually I will go a little bit more into the astrology, but I just wanted to show this as a sample reading. So I'll usually look at the moon sign, Venus and Mars for each person, see what's going on there too. But I'm just going to finish up with a tarot reading for Gwen and Blake, and we'll see what comes up. So I usually ask, what's the information that's coming up for Gwen and Blake? What is the dynamic between them? What is the information that needs to come up? Or the information that wants to present itself for this dynamic between Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton. Okay, so I'm doing a shadow highlight spread here. So let's see what we've got. A lot of people worry when this card comes up, and it doesn't mean anything bad necessarily. Some people worry about that, but I just like to be reassuring that it has a lot of different meanings. So this one, 9 of Swords, in reverse. In the upright position, this is the current dynamic and current situation. In the upright position, 9 of Swords means worry and anxiety, tension, someone who's being kept up at night by their thoughts. And usually it means making more thoughts and concerns over something than is needed. So what I like about this is that it's in the reverse position. So this means that there's an easing up. It's an easing up of any tension or anxiety or worry or doubt or fear that used to be there. It may have been that Gwen and or Blake were feeling this before they got into the relationship, and because this is in the reverse position, it's sort of taking the lid off of that and easing the sense of any tension, anxiety, or worry that either one of them used to have by being together. It's a little bit more reassuring. It's a cause to take those thoughts and concerns and let them go. So I like that. And central position. What's in shadow is, it's interesting that they have sun and moon here in the shadow and highlight position. What's in shadow is the sun, and in reverse. So what it's saying in shadow is that if there were any concerns, sun, for example, means self-acceptance. It means radiating one's own vitality. It means total connection with all that is. It means integration of your male and female selves. And when it's in the reverse position, it's saying that maybe you're not accessing all of yourself, or maybe that there's you're not feeling the entire realm or spectrum of self-acceptance and radiance that you could. When this is in the shadow position, it's saying that there may be ways in which you had been dampening yourself or not seeing ways that you were holding yourself back before. I'm seeing this as prior to the relationship, so there may have been ways where they've had to hide themselves, or each of them, and not feel like they were fully being themselves, feeling like sort of it was gray skies. But now I'm getting the sense that they can open that up. That's coming out. I'll say more about this highlighted moon here too. In the past, influence that's passing away is devil here, which this basically, the sum of devil means bondage, or means being stuck, believing in false truths. And it's a situation where you can see there's a woman and a man who are both in shackles, and they have the freedom and the ability to free themselves, to take these chains off and walk away. I like this in the passing away position because it means that whatever confinement or slavery or bondage that they were experiencing before, maybe feeling tied down to things, believing in things that weren't true, believing in false beliefs that were causing them a lot of tension and anxiety, that's what's passing away. And this this relationship has caused them a lot of reassurance and comfort with this Nine of Swords in reverse. Then what's approaching for Gwen and Blake this is Two of Wands in reverse. So Two of Wands in the upright position means boldness, personal power. It means courageousness. It means a spiritual journey, feeling like you have the world in the palm of your hands, or feeling like the world is your oyster. In the reverse position, it may mean that you can't see how you're going to get to the top of the mountain. Usually in this card, it is a dual card, so there's two people present. It's the two energy. So it usually means that there's one person who has a vision of the world, and then the other person is helping them along. The image I usually use for this card is someone who's climbing to the top of a mountain, like Mount Kilimanjaro or something, and then the other person is their pack holder or their Sherpa, the person who is going with them and helping them carry things to the top of the mountain. So in this card, with this approaching, the question that I have for them is, how is it that they are not seeing that the world is in the palm of their hands? They may not realize the power of their connection. They may not realize how much they have the world in the palm of their hands right now, and that the world is really their oyster by coming together. There may be some doubt or some fear, or just not recognizing that, not allowing that to come to the surface. They actually have a lot of power and strength in their union together. And then this card, this is what's highlighted, which is Moon in reverse. So Moon, when it's in the upright position, means, again, it's highlighting that illusion effect that we saw before. Sometimes Moon can mean that. But often it means allowing feelings, emotional. This crab down here, this lobster, represents our deep subconscious emotions, and allowing them to come to the surface in an even, balanced way. So this crab is coming up between the wolf and the dog. The wolf represents our wild side, and the dog represents our domesticated side. So some people explain that in terms of right and left brain, or conscious and subconscious. But basically allowing that emotional element, the subconscious feelings that we may have had in the depths, and letting them come up in the soft, gentle light of the moon, and in a balanced way. So when Moon is in reverse, it makes me wonder, it's asking me, is there a way in which you can allow these subconscious feelings that you have had buried come up to the surface in a way where they are allowed, in a way where it's gentle light on them, in a way where they're balanced? Are you acknowledging your innermost feelings? Are you able to let those come up? That's what's highlighting. It's saying be careful, try not to have doubts or fears about letting deep standing emotions come up, because moon is here, it's featured. And interesting that you have this sun and moon energy. That's very sun and moon is usually, they're an inherent couple in the universe. The moon always is revolving around the sun. So I'm seeing a lot of comfort here. I'm seeing power and confidence and having the world in your hands coming up for them in the future, if they don't doubt that about their union. And I'm seeing a lot of restrictions, false beliefs, feeling stuck, passing away for both of them. And I'm seeing a lot of comfort and reassurance in this couplehood, and I'm hopeful for both of them that they are able to allow their innermost feelings up with each other in a balanced way, and therefore reignite whatever way that they might have been feeling held back before, or that if their individual egos or identities have been dampened or felt overcast in any way, that is able to shine forth in this relationship. So that's my reading for Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton. I'm really happy for both of them that they're finding this comfort, this reassurance. It's taken a lot off of their minds. It's eased a lot of worry, anxiety, or tension for both of that, and I wish them both the absolute best in their new relationship. Thank you so much for watching. Yours in the stars.